Hi guys, so I wanted to come on today and talk to you guys about spirit. I feel like this could maybe potentially help you in your life navigating your own evolution and your own way, I guess, that you play this game. I have been intuitively connected since I was a kid, and I didn't know it obviously back then, but I can look back now and see that I was, for sure tapping into different realms. Like I would go in other rooms in my house and I would sit in a meditative position and I would close my eyes and I would go into these really unbelievable worlds. And ever since I was a little kid, I've always had this connection with animals. And then after my accident and having that near-death experience and going to heaven and, seeing my brother on the other side, when I talk about how his message to me changed my life, I want to expand on that a bit. When Jason told me that I was not alone, he reminded me that there was God, that there was spirit, that there was a higher power, that there was magic in the world. And when I was a little girl, I knew, right? Like if you can think about your childhood, you can close your eyes, and if you go back there, you can think about these moments that we completely transcended time, space, everything. Like we remembered the magic, right? And so when I was in heaven and he told me this, when I came back, it's like I couldn't forget it. And I had reached out to my brother Blake and I had asked him to reach out to some of his community because they were mediums and healers. And he had called me one night and he said, Cass, what they're all saying is that you have to choose. Like you have to choose because you're teetering the line between being human and being like in the human experience and forgetting you're a soul, or you have to step over and really embody this new choice, this new understanding of what your life is about. And I did. At one point in my healing journey, when I moved to LA, I actually put on like an intense seance. Okay, I'm not kidding. I put all of my ancestors, all of my animals, all their pictures in a circle, and I laid naked in the middle of this circle. And I said out loud, I don't want to forget anymore. I want to remember. I want to remember spirit. I want to remember magic. I want to remember the other realms. I want to remember all of you. And I'm making a conscious choice right now to do that. And from that moment of speaking it out loud to them, I opened a channel. I opened a complete channel directly to my ancestors and directly to my brother, to my father, to my grandmother. I mean, I am always tapping in and tuning into spirit. I am very much connected in the way of when I need or when I want or when I feel called to speak to spirit, to speak to my ancestors, to speak to anybody that I need to, I do. And this is something that I talk about with people all the time. You have to start giving yourself permission. So I started to tap back into spirit. I started to gain this relationship with spirit because the way that I explain it to people is, if you and I right now are in a relationship, okay, and we're sitting in a car together and we're upset, I can feel that you're upset, right? You can feel that I'm upset. But unless either one of us says something out loud, there's no clarity created, right? It's the same with spirit. You can sit there and you can be in your own mind and your own world thinking, oh, I wonder if spirit's real, or I'm sure it is, or maybe it is, or I get these signs, but I'm not sure. Unless you start speaking and giving yourself permission to speak to spirit, like right now, like, spirit, grandma, I'm here. If you would like to join me, I'm right here, and this is what I'm praying for, and this is what I need help with. I talk to Jason all the time. Jason, are you here? This is, like, I'm feeling like a lot of heaviness in my chest right now, and I'm feeling like there's anxiety coming up and I don't know why, and can you please, show me a sign, tell me that you're here, be with me. And I go into a silence and I allow them to come through and I leave space and I believe in it. You have to believe in the magic, right? As a kid, we didn't know that we couldn't believe. We just believed. It was already ingrained in us. So I tell people you have to start creating a clear conversation. Even if you think that you sound crazy, who cares? Give yourself permission now to be all of you. For me, I don't care whether people think that I'm crazy or think that it's not real, that doesn't matter to me because they're not in my experience. They have no idea the magic that I tune into and tap into because it's my experience, right? I say this because it's time for you to own your own experience. It's time for you to give yourself permission to reconnect to the magic, to spirit. And whatever you feel, people are like, well, how do I know if I'm doing it right? And I'm like, you'll know. You'll know because you'll get a nudge. And when you get a nudge or when you see a sign or when you have the first thought of, oh, that's it, don't question it. It took me a while because I would be like, oh my God, how did that just show up? Oh my God, how did that just show up? Oh my God, oh my God. I'd find things, I'd see things. I literally have such a deep connection with Jason that when I have anxiety, I tell him I need a purple flower. And I'm not kidding, guys. It doesn't even matter if I'm on my computer, an ad will come up and there will be a purple flower. And I will just start laughing because he's an amazing artist. He's always been an amazing artist his entire life, but he's just taken it now to the next level. Because we have to remember, you guys, we're all just energies and we are blessed with these meat suits. They're still here. They just don't have the meat suit. So you got to figure out a way to communicate with them. And the only way to do it, you guys, use your mouth. Use it. Write it. Sometimes I'll be writing in my journal and I'll sit up and I'll be like, are you here, Jason? Like, are you watching me do this? And then I'll start saying it out loud and I'll hear something. I'll sit there and I'll feel my body fill with chills because I'll feel him. I'll feel him hugging me. I'll feel his hands on me. Some of the times that I've done meditation, I'll tell you an example. I did breath work one night with some of my teachers and it was, of course, on Zoom and the lights were off and I ended up like they needed to call my phone multiple times to wake me up because I fell asleep. And when I opened my eyes, he was laying next to me in the bed. We were looking at each other and the whole visualization that I was having in breath work was about how he was trying to remind me of the blessing that I'm in this body and that it doesn't end after, that we're just a different form. So I felt really called to come on here and talk about this because I feel like it's important to reflect that you don't need a near-death experience. You don't need to call yourself a clairvoyant or a medium or all these things. You guys, we are coming home to the understanding that all of us are healers. All of us are intuitive. All of us are clairvoyant. All of us are clairaudient. It depends on what you choose to believe about yourself and let go of all the other narratives and start to play the game that you want to play. Start to own the superpowers that you know to be true for you. The only thing that holds us back is fear. I could have easily, when my brother Blake told me, like, you have to make the choice. You have to keep living unconsciously and forget, or you have to remember. I could have easily chose, I'm going to forget. But there was a part of little Cass that was like, you got to remember, girl. Like, remember how safe that magic kept you when you were a kid? Remember those worlds that it brought you into? And now if you're aware of those worlds, you can bring those worlds from the inside and manifest them externally. And that's what I do. You guys, we got to start thinking deeper. We got to start owning ourselves deeper, right? Now, you guys know my relationship if you follow me with Magic. Magic's my dog if you don't know. I can't even believe some of the moments we have together. I mean, I sometimes sit with him for a couple hours and I'll go through his whole body. I'll massage every inch of him. Because the truth is no one else is going to do it, but I can, right? And I go get body work all the time. We go for massages all the time, right? We check into things that help us. And so if I know that we've been assigned to each other to experience life together, I have got to show up for him and be of assistance for him in ways that he can't for himself. And the way that literally we look in each other's eyes, he's staring at me right now, and we just know, like, we're super connected. And I bring this up because you guys have the same abilities. It just takes being in the now moment, really connecting to the other side, really connecting to who we're even in front of, even with humans, right? You know, you can read people's minds all the time. Like, you're sitting in the car with your loved one, you know what they're thinking, right? You learn their energy because you're around it all the time. You learn to read it. It's the same thing with spirit. It's the same thing with animals. This is really important. I feel like this is like so important to start tuning into for all of us. And I am the biggest advocate of Magic, the dog, and Magic, and the biggest advocate of spirit And I just feel like I need to consistently be showing up as the perfect mirror for you guys. Give yourselves permission to own your magic, to own the little inklings inside that you think you are. Don't think it, you are it. It's time to start owning it. I love you guys so much, and I hope this finds you well, and I'll be back with more magic.